Hello, 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 and welcome
Hello.
to all of our viewers. We are so honored to have you on and that you have decided to take part in our Pink Week segment entitled A Survivor's Story. This broadcast is brought to you by Healing House of God Ministries, where the pastors are Bishop John Ford and Pastor Sandra Ford. And as you all know, this is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and so HHG wanted to do something special in honor of breast cancer survivors everywhere. And so, as part of that, yay! We have decided to bring on two amazing women to share their testimony.
Yay.
So I'm going to open up the floor and allow either one of you ladies to introduce yourself, just say your name and how many years you have been cancer free. So whoever wants to start, go ahead.
I'll start.
Okay.
My name is Diane Daniel. The first round of cancer for me was back in 1989. I was just a very young lady back then. Young enough to have a kindergartner and a preschooler.
Wow.
And it was ovarian cancer.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a lot to take in at that young age. I didn't have really anybody to talk to back then, so I did this pretty much on my own and had to learn very quickly. I had two babies at home that was very special to me. So that was round one.
Round one. Oh gosh. All right.
Round two is more recent. At about 3 months ago, breast cancer came around, and I said, okay, all right, I had this once. Why is this hitting me again? And it was hard to take. It was hard to understand that. Cancer did not run in my family, and it doesn't have to run in your family. You could stand alone on this, and you know that by taking a genetic test, which, by the way, came very important from my doctor, highly suggested that I have this done, and I knew nothing about this. And when he found out what I had in the past, my mom died of pancreatic cancer, and now I have breast cancer. It didn't sound very good in my line of siblings, and I have two daughters, so highly suggested that I get this done, which I did, and pleasantly surprised that I did not carry the mutant gene. It was just me, just me.
Wow.
Joanne?
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yay!
All right. Yay.
Hey, I am Joanne Thompson, and I am a 9-year breast cancer survivor.
Woo!
Woo!
Yay!
I was diagnosed with breast cancer back in 2011 at the age of 44. And how I can remember this, I remember the time when, first let me tell you how I found it. I was sitting down at the kitchen table one day with my husband, and I was fortunate enough to feel a lump in my left breast. And while we was talking, my eyes got really big, and he said, "What's wrong with you?" And I said, "I feel a lump." And he was like, "What are you talking about?" And I said, "I feel a lump that wasn't there before." And so I got nervous and I was scared. And so I called my doctor, and when I made a doctor's appointment, and she felt the lump too. And so I had a sonogram done. And I just thank God that I was able to find that lump, because when I had my sonogram done, they found another one underneath my breast. So I just thank God that I was able to feel that one to lead to the other one that I had. And so from there, after I had my sonogram done, I ended up going to the breast clinic for a biopsy. And when I got the biopsy done, they said it would be about 3 days. So I remember this so well. I was at work and I got a phone call, and they told me that I needed to come in. And I was like, oh, you can't tell me on the phone? And they was like, no, we cannot tell you on the phone. You needed to come in. I knew then, I was like, my heart just dropped. And so I was at work and I went downstairs. And at the time I had just had my little grandbaby, just had my little baby.
Oh,
And she was at the age, she was even 1 year old yet. So I just had her, my daughter had just had her. And I went downstairs and I picked her up and I just hugged her and I just bust out and started crying. And so I went on to the doctor and they sat down with me and they said, well, your test came back positive, that the 2 tumors that you had was positive. And so, you know, they began to talk to me, telling me the options that I had and everything. And they said they never told anybody, you know, tell somebody that they had cancer, and I didn't cry. I just sat there. But once I went out in the parking lot, I lost it. I just bust out and started crying. And I was like, Lord, why me?
Exactly.
And I just bust out and started crying. I went home, and that's when you start getting all these phone calls. Nurses calling, navigation nurses calling. Everybody want to call and talk to. I didn't want to talk to anybody. I went and I crawled up in my bed and I just cried and I cried and I was like, Lord, you know, when you think of cancer, you think that, oh, I'm gonna die. Lord, I just got my little grandbaby. What am I gonna do? You know, so I just cried. So that was very devastated to me, very devastated. So I was just fortunate enough to be able to find my own lump. And to, you know, so it didn't spread to no other part of my body, but I was diagnosed with stage 2B, which it had spread it to my lymph nodes. So I was diagnosed with stage 2B. So that was a hard pill to swallow.
Wow. Did you have a family history of it at all?
Yes. Breast cancer does run in the family. My mom had it. My grandmother had it. A cousin of mine's had it. So it runs in the family. My sister, but no, none of them had to go through the treatment, the chemo, the radiation that I had to go through. And so at the, on August the 10th, 2011, that's when I had my first round of chemo. And, you know, when I was at the cancer center, they, you know, was putting the port in and everything. So the nurse came in with this red bag in her hand. And she said, this is the treatment that we're going to be giving you. And I was like, why it look like that? And she said, it's called the Red Devil. And she said, this is one of our most aggressive one. So, and I was like, I didn't want anything in my body that had the devil name in it. So I began to pray and I was like, Lord, I'm putting it in your hand. But it was an aggressive chemo. By my second treatment, I was taking chemo the other week. My second treatment, I lost all my hair. I just lost all my hair. And, you know, when I was in the bathroom, that was my before picture with my hair. And I lost all my hair. And I remember when I was in the bathroom, I was wrapping my hair and all of my hair just came out. And I began to cry. And I was like, that was my biggest fear, was losing my hair. And then while I was in the bathroom, the Lord told me, you still have life, that I still have life. And so, you know, I didn't want anybody to see me like this. So I went in the room and I had told my husband that I had lost all my hair. And he looked at me, he said, you are still beautiful and I still love you. And so, you know, that was a really, really hard pill to swallow, but I just thank God that I have life. I had life. And then, you know, God, I went through this so I can, you know, encourage other people. I wanted to encourage other people, but, You know, I still keep these pictures. I have them behind me, and I still keep my pictures. And I have something, and I can't even find it now. I'm sorry, but I also had a bag that I keep my hair, that I kept the hair in. It just to show where God had brought me from, and where I'm at now. This is the hair, and I have the date on it. I lost my hair on August the 23rd. And I keep this as a reminder of where God has brought me from, because this is my testimony when I lost all my hair. And so I just thank God, because my sister, Pastor Ford, which is my sister and my pastor, she had gave me some praying scriptures that for me to read, and I began to read that. And Marvin Sapp, I began to listen to his songs. I win, and I never would have made it. I should live and not die, because by my second treatment, I was so sick. And I remember sitting down at the kitchen table, and I told my mom, I said, if I have to go through this, if my body have to feel life is, that I don't want to go through it.
Mm-hmm.
And she whispered in my ear, and she said, Joanne, you should live and not die. She said, we need you. You just have a little grandbaby. She needs you. And that, you know what, I had a good family support. If you have that family support and believe and trust God, you can make it through. And, each time I had my treatments, I got better and better with it. I had 16 rounds of chemo.
Oh my goodness.
16 rounds of chemo. I had 5 different surgeries. My worst surgery was when I had a mastectomy done on my left breast, and my worst surgery was the scar on my back. And I call that my beauty mark. That's where God had brought me from, but that was the worst surgery, where they had to reconstruct the fatty part of my back to reconstruct me a breast. So I just thank God from where he brought me from and to where I'm at now. And that's where I'm at now. And I just give God praise, and I give God honor for where he brought me from, And then right here, my little, and I'm so glad that I'm able to share my story, because I had wrote I keep a journal. This is my journal. And I had kept a journal when I first started, where I had first started my chemo until I finished it. And I kept this journal. But I wrote in my Bible, and this is what I wrote, and I just thank God for giving me the opportunity to be able to share it. And it says, to the one thing I would like to say to cancer, you may have took my breast, my hair, you may have left me with scars on my body, but you did not take my joy, my confidence, my courage, or my life. You made me a bolder person to see life in a different way. I have a testimony to tell to the people and how they can have faith and depend on you. And you have brought me through. I am a strong Black woman, and I am ready to tell my testimony. I have won, I still smile, and I made it through because I speak life. And I just thank God for the opportunity, because it came to pass, and that's my story. I want to tell people my story, because when I first got diagnosed with cancer, the human part of you, it make you like, I'm gonna die. Mm-hmm. And I was scared, and Diane, I know you was afraid. I was scared, I was afraid, and I said, Lord, why me? But it drew my family close together, and I just thank God for that, because I just had the family support. I had real good family support, and if you got to have faith in God to bring it through. So anybody that's out there that's going through any type of cancer, you can make it and you can go through it, but you got to trust and believe in God that you can do it. and stay away from negative people. You need somebody, you need a strong circle. You need somebody that will be there to encourage you, to be there with you, pray with you, but stay away from the negativity.
Amen. Wow.
Absolutely.
Wow. That was
Absolutely.
awesome.
Wow, Joanne, I can't top that except that I can relate to the harshness of chemo. I can
Right.
relate to the throwing up. I can relate to, I lost my hair, but I shaved my head first because I
Okay.
knew I was going to lose it anyway. But I can relate to all of what you said. And as you spoke, it brought back good memories because I had that circle of my church people and friends and praying and visiting me. And you when you're that sick
Yeah.
and you think, Lord, if you're going to take me anyway, can you like make it pretty soon? Because I'm not feeling so good. Don't linger this. But no, I had babies. And, people were praying for a healing. I was at some point praying like, okay, I'm ready. But then my children would come home from pre-K and kindergarten, and I'd look in their eyes and I thought, I got to get up. I got to get better. I got to get better.
Yes.
But then again, I had great faith. I truly do. And I still do, even when he's testing me again. And I'm not understanding why. I'm okay. I'm going to get through this. I have a great group of friends and family praying for me daily. And so I'm still going through it. I still have one more surgery, Joanne, on Monday, the 23rd.
Right. Okay.
And November 23rd, before Thanksgiving, it's going to be my last surgery.
Yay.
But I was fortunate enough to be tested, and it did not go into my lymph nodes. I have my percentages, and I don't understand how the oncologist reads this, but low enough that no radiation and no chemo is needed.
Amen.
So I shocked me, and I said, thank you. Although this is not where I wanted to be in my life and have this discomfort and have this in my body, if I were to have this, the Lord has given me the best of the situation.
Right.
I just lost one breast. I'm reconstructed surgery coming up, no chemo, no radiation, reconstructed surgery, and I'm done. It's like, thank you.
Amen.
You're not supposed to question things like this, but I do. I don't understand sometimes. And whereas your family history had breast cancer, mine had none. I stood alone, except my mom. I'm sorry. I apologize on that. With knowing that, though, the three most leading cancers that women can get, and death is sometimes around the corner, is pancreatic, breast, and ovarian. Right. And there it was, right there in front of me. And I said, oh my gosh, what do I do now? And the next thing was that genetic test. Find out.
Yes.
And my siblings are doing that also. Now, my girls are not at high risk. Thank you, Lord. Thank God. That was one test that made me cry.
Right.
I did not want to carry this on to my children. That was that was big. But it was okay. And I cannot stress enough. Keep your appointments. Yes. Go for your annuals.
Yes.
Self-examinations. Do not take this for granted. Do what you need to do. It's very, very important that at an age that you take care of yourself. And those mammograms are important.
Yes.
You early detection. That's all I can say. I will say that this time around came to me when I least expected it. I was working out 5 days a week doing boot camp. I lifted heavy weights. I did many push-ups, chin-ups. I exercised very, very hard. And I thought that, this is going to sound silly, but I thought the firmness was from the weights and the push-ups and what I was working very hard every day doing. And I thought, well, wait a minute, one's firmer than the other. Well, maybe I'm lifting heavier weights on one side. That wasn't the case. I was fooling myself. I was putting it off, thinking it's got to be exercise. You know how you just build muscle?
Right.
No, it just wasn't getting any better. And took it upon myself. And I journeyed this one pretty much on my own. I don't recommend this at all. I made an appointment to get a mammogram, and one day, and my husband asked me where I was going, and I said, "Oh, to the dentist." "Oh, okay." Then I had to go back and had a biopsy, and it was early morning, and it was like 7 o'clock. I had to be there at 7:15 or something like that. My daughter called me and FaceTimed me. She said, "Mom, are you in the car?" And I said, "Yes, yeah." She said, "Where are you going at this hour?" And I said, "Oh, to the dentist." And she said, "They take patients that early?" And I said, "Those of us that have to work." I was so afraid to tell anybody because I was in such denial. I'd been through this. This can't be happening again. Can't be. Not to me. I teach kindergarten. I'm active. I got grandbabies. No way. But yes way. You go, and when you go and get tested, and they come back and they tell you, you sit in the parking lot and you go, all right, I've been to the dentist a lot in the last couple of weeks. I gotta face the music. And I had to face the music. Right. And it's hard. You cry a lot.
Yes.
And you cry alone. You cry in front of your family. You cry. But early detection, please don't deny yourself that.
That's right.
And have a great support group, and pray and believe that it's going to come out okay. Positive thinking. Yes. Can't say, when you said stay away from negative people.
Amen.
Think positive all the time. It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. Think it all the time. And don't let anybody bring you down and feel bad. You're going to get through this. Early detection. It's vital. It can change things. And had I probably gone when I should have, it probably would have been a lumpectomy.
Lumpectomy.
It would have been that. I was already told that. And I thought, such a procedure that would not have taken my breast. I would not have gone all through this, but I failed. I failed myself, you know? So I'm telling people now, don't do that. If it doesn't feel right, go get it checked.
Go get checked.
Go get checked.
Know your body.
Absolutely.
Know your body.
And you know, they say you pray the most when you're not well. That might be the case. I mean, I'm a churchgoer. I believe in God. I have great faith. That was never the case. But people around me might not have prayed maybe as much, but thinking of me, they did, brought them back to church maybe. You know? So like I said, this is brand new to me, and I still not that happy. I still have not looked, believe it or not. I have not seen myself. It's one of those, like when you lose your hair, it's part of who you are. You look so different. You don't want to be seen. And it's vanity. I know that. It doesn't make who you are, but you perceive yourself feeling inadequate and not so pretty. And I have not yet seen myself in the mirror yet, full on. I'm not at that stage yet. Will I be? Yes. I mean, there are scars, and reconstruction surgery will make one match the other, but it'll take time. And but I'm okay. I'm alive, and I love life. I love my grandbabies. I love to get up every day. I am not a complainer. I wake up, same mood every day. I love life, and I teach kindergarten.
Amen.
Don't you think my mood? Don't you think my mood would change throughout the day? You'd think, but it doesn't. It doesn't.
Wow.
You know what made me think, Diane? What made me? I was like that. I didn't want to look at myself in the mirror either. I was just like, I couldn't look at myself. But then I had to think about. I thought about Jesus up on the cross for us and the scars that was on his body. And I was like, okay, God, you gave your son to, with the scars on his body. That what made me, okay, look at my body. Okay, I got this. God had brought me through this. And the scars on my body is just a testimony of, where God had brought me from. And so it's going to come down. It's going to get there.
I'll get there. And it just makes you stronger, and it makes you more aware, and be a spokesperson. Go out there, walk the walk, talk the talk, and tell people you'll get through this. You'll get through this, and be an open line to whomever wants to call you and talk to you.
Yeah.
Wow. That was amazing, ladies. Thank y'all for sharing. I'm honored. I've been blessed to hear y'all's testimony, and I'm sure all the viewers are blessed by your testimony. That was amazing. It's amazing. We know that like nothing that we go through is just for us, but it's always to help somebody and pull somebody else through. So our journey is not our own. It's always to help somebody else, whatever we go through. So I'm thankful to have you all on. Thank you all for sharing. Healing House of God is thankful for you all sharing. So it's a blessing.
I miss you.
We'll get together soon.
Yes.
Thank you. If this can help anybody, I'll say it again, early detection. Take care of yourself.
Yeah.
Have it checked. You're uncertain, go find somebody that can make it certain for you. Go see a doctor.
And also, last but not least, I know we have to go, but know your body. Know your body. Watch for the signs. When you're in the shower, the best way to do it, when you're in the shower, put soap on your breast and just rub your breast and look for and feel for anything. So please know your body, watch for signs, because early detection is key. Oh, we hope we bless someone and someone will go and get tested, go get examined.
Thank you, ladies. And we're celebrating with y'all for being cancer free. So again, thank you all. Blessings.
Blessing. Good night.
Good night.